Greetings. I was speaking the other day with Julfer de Winter, and we were talking about the possibility of making videos about how we make videos, because we thought it might be helpful to some people, and also a good way to convey some of our advice, suggestions, and whatnot on making videos. I personally tend to be pretty regimented in how I go about my videos. I try to stay more inventive and creative in the material that I present rather than the way that I present it. I keep a list of videos on Dropbox, and I can access that from home or from work or anywhere else I have access to it. In case I come up with a cool idea for a video, then I can add it, and I'm a lot less likely to forget about that great idea. Usually I'll have a desire to make the ones that I've added to the list the most recently, just because it's fresh on my mind and I've been considering it and mulling over it. And so there are quite a few that are at the bottom of my list that have been there for pretty much since I started making videos. Who knows if I'll ever get to them. For hardware, I use a Nikon Coolpix LP610 that I bought off of newegg.com for about $150. I also bought the AC adapter for it because it was going through batteries at a horrible rate. Like 15 minutes of video would take up 2 batteries. So I was buying these gigantic packs of them, and even those I was going through very, very quickly. So I opted for the AC cable. I also use a tripod that I've had for quite some time. I think you can get them at Walmart for $10, $15. They're really not too expensive, I don't believe. And for lighting, I've started using a round paper lantern. I'll give you a look at it here. Here's the lantern. When I went in to buy the lantern, I originally intended on getting a white one. The only one that they had there, unfortunately, though, that was even similar to that, was a silver one, which was fairly unexpected. But I decided to give it a shot anyway, and I'm actually quite pleased with it. What I like is that it creates a very white, maybe even slightly bluish light, rather than the yellow light, and that seems to help with the way my videos look. I prefer it anyway. I have the lantern hung so that typically I make my videos standing up usually. I'm not sure why I'm sitting down for this one, it just seemed appropriate. I hung the lantern so it's about the center, even with the top of my head, and just above and to the right of where I usually have the camera. For software, I just use the Windows Movie Maker version 2012 that I got with my copy of Windows 7. So it's pretty simple. The only thing that I use that doesn't involve that program is Photoshop for the intro onc image and names of videos and things like that that I have. I usually don't make videos off the cuff, and I typically have a printed copy of what I have to say. Usually I'll either tack this underneath the camera or from the lantern itself, all depending on what is the most easily visible. And the few times that I've made videos without using that, I seem to meander off topic a lot and forget a lot of points that I wanted to make, and that's not going to benefit my videos. So I always usually do have a copy of some kind. Very quickly I learned that I needed to rein in all of the ums that I used to have in my videos. They were sneaking their way in everywhere. And I simply paid attention to the filming, tried to make a conscious effort to stop saying all the time. It still happens, of course, occasionally, but not nearly as often as it used to. Also, I edit them out. I've done this plenty of times. I don't see any sense in leaving any dead space, any ums, or anything like that in the videos. One thing I have noticed that I've done, though, is while I've stopped saying all the time, I started lengthening my ands. So before a sentence, sometimes I'll and that's the way that this happens. And so then I need to edit that out and whatnot. So something else I've started doing is putting little quarter-second transitions in between the edits of different parts of the video. I haven't gotten any feedback on this, and so I'm just kind of assuming that no feedback is good feedback, or that people aren't noticing because it is more seamless than the way I used to do it. So for a little while I was trying to add music to my videos. I have since stopped doing that, and it was mainly because I had got some complaints from people mentioning that they couldn't hear me in certain parts of the video, and I wanted to stop that from happening, of course. And if I ever decide to try to monetize my account, that's also something that I'll have to make sure there aren't any videos up with music in them. My number one rule is a reiteration of what Zachary was saying in part of her video, and that is don't apologize for anything. Nothing. If you apologize, especially right in the beginning of your video, the conviction and dedication for your topic, whatever it is, even if you're apologizing for your hair or your lighting or whatever, that's going to make your position on the topics that you're going to speak on later weaker. That's just the way it is. So try not to apologize for anything at all. Trial and error on my YouTube friends, aside from all of you. I mainly have come to the point of filming that I'm at currently because of trial and error, and I'm sure that it will lead me on to better videos in the future. I seek to improve my videos as much as I can, and to facilitate that, I actively invite people to give me constructive criticism, so long as they convey it to me in a more private manner than just leaving a comment. You need to make sure that you are willing to accept constructive criticism for improving your videos. It's really the only way. It's hard to take a step back when you've just spoken everything in the video. You know exactly what you're trying to say. Other people may not understand it as clearly as you think they will. So you always have to be willing to accept that. So that's some information on how I do videos, and I hope that I will see more of yours in the future. Thank you.